On the surface, Rainbow was every parent's answer to safe, wholesome kids' TV, bright colors, catchy songs, and a crew of puppets who felt like family. But what if the show you loved was hiding secrets you're glad you never knew as a child? From unbroadcast episodes filled with jaw-dropping innuendo to costume swaps so unsettling they haunted cast and crew, Rainbow's hidden world pushed boundaries in ways most viewers never imagined. The official story was innocence. The reality backstage was far wilder. And those accidental slips on air? They left a legacy that's still hard to believe. So what really happened behind the rainbow, and how did it all stay just out of sight? Rainbow first arrived on British screens in 1972, commissioned by Thames Television to bring a new kind of learning to preschoolers. Every weekday, living rooms filled with the familiar theme song, and children gathered around to see what Zippy, George, Bungle, and Jeffrey would get up to next. The show quickly became a daily ritual for families, with Jeffrey Hayes guiding his puppet housemates through stories about sharing, feelings, and the alphabet. Parents trusted Rainbow because it wasn't just entertainment. It was designed to help kids grow, with lessons woven into songs and gentle humor. By 1975, Rainbow's approach had earned it the Society of Film and Television Arts Award for Best Children's Program. For many, it felt like a safe, friendly corner of TV, where everyone belonged and every day promised something new to learn. That sense of warmth and reliability made Rainbow a fixture in British childhoods for 2 decades. Bright stripes covered every inch of the set, from the rainbow arch above the door to the patchwork cushions on the floor. Even for a children's show, Rainbow was a riot of color. Zippy's orange head and George's soft pink face popped against walls painted in psychedelic shades that could only belong to the 1970s. The camera lingered on Bungle's towering fur, which sometimes looked more like a wild animal than a teddy bear. Each puppet had its own odd charm. Zippy's zippered mouth snapped shut when he got too cheeky. George's wide-eyed stare suggested he was always a little anxious. And Bungle's booming voice tried to keep order, but rarely succeeded. The house looked cozy, but the way the puppets bickered and squabbled made it feel more like a sitcom than a lesson. For kids, it was all fun and games, but the show's offbeat style and clashing personalities gave Rainbow an energy that was just a little bit off-kilter, even before anyone knew what was really going on behind the scenes. Bungle never looked quite the same for long. Every couple of years, the bear suit was swapped out. Sometimes for hygiene, sometimes because the last one just couldn't take the heat. The first Bungle, played by John Leeson, wore a costume so stifling he needed salt tablets to keep from passing out. Leeson dropped weight just trying to keep up, sweating through the fur until it was soaked. Later, Stanley Bates and Malcolm Lord stepped into the furry shell, each inheriting the same steamy ordeal. Off camera, things weren't much cooler. Jeffrey Hayes, the ever-patient host, sometimes found himself wrangling not just puppets, but a cast who enjoyed a drink or two between takes. Meanwhile, the musical trio, Rod, Jane, and Freddie, were navigating their own off-screen drama. Jane Tucker's relationships with both Rod and Freddie meant rehearsals could be a little tense, though the show's cheerful songs never let on. The costumes, the backstage antics, the tangled romances, none of it showed up in the Rainbow House, but it was all happening just out of sight. In 1979, the Rainbow cast filmed a Christmas tape meant only for the crew's holiday party. The result was a 5-minute sketch that looked and sounded just like the real show, except Zippy, George, and Bungle were swapping lines packed with innuendo. Zippy boasted he was the best plucker here, while George and Bungle compared notes on playing with each other's twangers. Even Jeffrey Hayes, always the steady host, played along with a straight face. This tape was never meant for kids or broadcast, but nearly 20 years later, a copy leaked out. In 1997, Channel 4's TV Awful aired the sketch, and it exploded online. Overnight, the once private joke became a viral sensation, with viewers stunned to see their childhood favorites in such a different light. The internet gave the tape new life, forever tying Rainbow's legacy to the wildest, most infamous party tape in British children's TV history. Zippy and George didn't always stick to the script. In the 1983 episode titled Fast Food, Zippy's milkshake mishaps sent cream flying everywhere, prompting him to blurt out, "I do like a good squirt," a line that sailed straight past the censors. Then in 1986, George led a counting game with bananas, cheerfully announcing 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin, 4, while Zippy giggled in the background. By 1989, things got cheekier still. During a pottery lesson, Zippy declared, "I'm not wearing anything under my apron, I'm completely naked!" These moments slipped into regular episodes, gave parents a reason to raise an eyebrow while most kids just laughed along. Clips from the Rainbow Christmas tape have racked up millions of views online, but the show's internet legacy stretches even further. Grainy footage and out-of-context quotes have become memes shared across forums and social media. International viewers stumbling across these clips years later often assume Rainbow was an elaborate joke or a piece of British satire that somehow made it to air. On YouTube, the infamous Twangers sketch keeps resurfacing, sparking new waves of disbelief and laughter each time. The show's surreal moments, once tucked away in childhood memory, now fuel a global fascination, one that has turned Rainbow into a cult phenomenon far beyond its original audience. After Rainbow ended, Jeffrey Hayes struggled to find work. Casting directors only saw him as the gentle host from children's TV, so he spent years stacking shelves at Sainsbury's and driving a taxi to pay the bills. For someone who'd been a daily fixture in so many homes, the quiet that followed was hard to bear. By the time Rainbow ended in 1992, it had aired for 2 decades and won a 1975 SFTA award for children's programming. Yet behind its educational promise were facts that almost no child watching could have guessed. The infamous 1979 Twangers tape, never broadcast but leaked in 1997, revealed a side of the cast meant only for adults. On screen, Bungle's costume changed repeatedly, unsettling some viewers, and documented interviews confirm a backstage culture of drinking and personal drama. Even official episodes like 1983's fast food and 1989's pottery scene let innuendo slip past censors. Despite countless interviews and released tapes, some details, such as the full extent of off-air antics, remain unverified or lost to time. Today, original Rainbow clips have drawn millions of online views, and international audiences still debate if it was satire. What's clear based on documented evidence is that Rainbow's legacy endures because it was never just a children's show. It was a strange, unforgettable artifact of its era, hiding more than most of us ever knew.